Hey guys, Ryan here with Go For It Studios. I just made it up to Williston, Florida, and I'm at John Henry Celebration Park. Cute little park. I found a little spot by the swings that actually have no chains or swings on them. Yeah, I figured I'd do a progression video for the crow's pose, the best way that I was able to learn it. I practiced 3 times a day, every single day. And I'll go through it with you guys step by step. Down. So this is what we're going to be practicing today. You can do it on flat ground, just about anywhere. And we're going to get into the crow's pose. Boom. And I know it looks easy, but it's not. It takes a lot of time. So the key thing that really helped me is, unlike the foot, your hands don't really have a heel to fall back on, and the way your wrists come, your weight is coming from behind the heel of your hand. So how do you control your weight? How do you balance? So you can call it like a rock climber grip on the ground. Instead of having your hands flat, curl your fingers just a little bit. Now you are able to use the flexion in your fingers to control your weight and keep you balanced. So that, I feel like, should be the first step, is getting comfortable, having little micro movements in your knuckles. The next is actually going to be to rotate your elbows in. So if you can sit there on the ground and do this, then you can do what I'm talking about with both arms. So elbows in, and that allows you to have that perfect flexion with the elbow, both elbows pointing back and parallel. The next, I just sit like I am right here in a little squat position. And you can have your knees as high or as low on your tricep as you like. I find that I have like a natural pocket in my tricep just above my elbow that fits right into the pocket of my kneecap. So I pin my knees to elbows, and when you're just working on it and trying to find your balance, you're just gonna start to stand up a little bit and see how my feet keep in contact until the very last second. I keep my toes balanced. I'm only rocking forward a little bit until I find my balance. And now I can control with my fingers my forward and backwards motion. And that's really important, being able to control that, because otherwise you're trying to find a perfect point of balance that doesn't really exist unless you're in a vacuum and you don't need to breathe and your muscles are perfectly taut. And that's just not going to happen. So rock climber grip, keep those fingers just slightly curled. That's going to allow you to flex back and forth to control your movement. The next step is really just taking it slow, working on rocking forward to that point you feel like you're going to dip, and a lot of times you might be a little bit overzealous and you're going to be rocking forward, and then you find yourself coming forward. To prevent yourself going face first into the ground, it's actually quite easy to catch yourself. So don't panic, because it's going to happen when you get tired. So also give yourself some ample time for breaks in between. And the key to keeping up, though, is going to be to keep your core tight, and you're going to want to pull your lower back in. It feels kind of awkward at first, but you're really trying to use your core to stabilize your hips, so that your hips are over your knees, which are over your elbows, which are over your hands, and that gives you good alignment. So the way that you're able to catch yourself is, even if you're already up in it and you start to fall, one arm, boom, onto the forearm. Don't smash your elbow into the ground, okay? So again, and pick a side, so you're dedicated every time to that side. You know exactly what side's going to break your fall. So you're coming up, you feel like you're doing pretty good, you feel like you might give out, boom, catch, okay? Now, let's see. Next step is going to be practicing how long you can hold it for. Now, when I'm up here like this, the weight of your lower body, well, basically your whole body, is going to try to push your elbows and your knees out wider. So use your legs, use your core, to pull on your elbows to keep you in line. So instead of doing this, where you start to come down and smush, and then you lose your form and position, you're gonna be coming up. So see how I set. My shoulders are in a good neutral position. What I do is shoulders neutral and down a little bit, and that's gonna help engage your back. Engage the core, and the way I engage my core is I don't push. I do a slight inhale. Think about pulling your belly button to your spine and doing like shallow breathing. So you're still getting enough oxygen, you're still focusing, and you'll get better at it so you're not starved for oxygen. So once I get up here, now I'm focusing on keeping my elbows straight back and my knees squeezing in towards each other so I don't flop out to the sides, but I stay up and tight. Now you'll also see me, as you get better at it and stuff too, I'll point my toes and I'll keep my two big toes together. So rock climber grip on the ground, elbows to knees. You can also go higher. I know there's a lot of people in yoga that'll do it this way, and that's fine, but I feel like that robs your core of the actual exercise, because now you're just kind of resting your weight on the backs of your arms. So from here, I'm going to elbows to knees or just above, and then boom, toes pointed. Now the goal is to be able to hold this 3 times for 30 seconds every day. And it's going to help you find your balance a lot quicker if you pick a focal point that's just above the line of your fingertips. If you drew a line, or even had an actual line there, and then draw a spot just above it, a couple inches maybe, and that's what, well, maybe not a couple inches, maybe like 8 or 9, I guess depending on your body, but pick a point where your eyes naturally fall to as you're coming forward, and stare at that point and just focus on keeping your core tight, your belly button pulled into your spine, elbows are straight back, and you're giving a slight squeeze on your knees to keep that position stable. And this is all progression into, at least for me it was, a progression into being able to press into a handstand. So a lot of it's going to be building the necessary strength just to hold that position. Excuse me, just had a couple chicken empanadas. But once you're able to hold that crow's pose position consistently, 3 sets for 30 seconds, you can start moving into, you can start progressing into the push-up to handstand. So what that is, the next step, I guess, would be to come from here and to use your core, pivot your hips up above your shoulders, and I'm staying in that tucked position. Okay, theoretically, when you're strong enough, you can move your hips up into that elevated position, and when you start to feel like a little bit tired, move back down into the crow's pose, give it a couple seconds, and rock backwards out of the exercise back into your squatted position. Eventually, I don't know if I can actually do it right now, it's been a while, you'll be able to do the crow's pose, into the hip raise, into the handstand. Oh God. Oh. But if you're out of practice, it's okay to bail out. So remember, get into that nice crouch position. Put the camera down since I'm a little bit shaky now, and I'm gonna find the shade. Okay, so again, that rock climber grip on the ground is gonna allow you to control your weight. Instead of having flat fingers that can't do anything, curl them up a little bit, okay? That's gonna allow you to obtain that flexion to control your back and forward motion. You're gonna get into that crouch position, hands in rock climber, elbows rotated back and tucked in. Find that comfortable spot wherever it is for you, where your knees are gonna be on your triceps, and slowly, just using your feet, all you got to do is flex up, plantar flex, up onto your toes, and slowly control your roll forward, okay? Until you find your comfortable balanced position, using your fingers to help accentuate that control. And pick a focal point. So do that 3 times a day, every single day. You shouldn't be going for broke on this. It shouldn't be wearing you out. It's a skills exercise. So that's like a zone 2 workout or a zone 2 exercise where it's a new movement and you're not completely weak at it, but it's also training neural pathways that are creating new synapses in your brain, because it's a new skill. And the better you get at it, the more comfortable you'll feel getting slightly inverted like that. And then you'll find your balance. And once you find your balance, it's really just a game of building your strength, your patience, and your control to hold that for 3 sets of 30 seconds. And take a few minutes in between each set once you start getting the ball rolling on it. I mean, if you want to, you can practice rocking into that position several times. You don't have to limit it to just 3 times. As long as you've got the energy for it and you're not wearing yourself out, because you don't want to get to a point where you're compensating in a way that's actually going to hinder you later by trying to overdo it too soon. So stick within the parameters of where you're at right now, if that makes sense, with your progression. Don't try to rush it. And yeah, let me know how it goes for you guys. And I'm stoked to hear your feedback. But now I think we're gonna find a place that I can take Max tonight and get some homework done. And then we've got a day of diving tomorrow at the Blue Grotto. Pretty stoked for that. Heard some cool stuff. So yeah, it was only like a 3.5 hour drive, so I'm also a little bit tired from that. But yeah, let me know how it goes. Leave some comments, send me some messages or something, post some pictures. You know, I'm stoked to hear you guys' feedback. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Ciao.